Google Analytics, have you heard of it? Are you using it? In this video, I'm going to share with you why you want to install it on any website you run. Hey fellow dadpreneurs, Adam Dukes here, and in this video, we're going to talk Google Analytics. Now, I am not an expert or advanced in Google Analytics. I've used it for many, many years. I look at some basic information, so this video is going to be very beginner friendly, but I'm going to show you what kind of I look for in Google Analytics, and going to go share the plugin that I use, and I think it's like the most popular one, at least for WordPress, and I think actually you can use it for websites outside of WordPress. But let me open up my screen here. And so why Google Analytics? Well, first of all, it's free. So you're kind of foolish not to install it. You just install it one time. It's not like you have to do it over and over again. A lot of times on websites, I'll install it and I won't look at it for 6 months, completely forgetting about it. But it'll share with you. You'll see who's visiting your website. You can search, you can look demographics, age, gender, by country, how they're finding your site, whether it's social media channels, whether it's other websites, whatever it is, what they're consuming. You can look at content and see what is the most popular content. This is helpful, and I'll go over that in a second, why that's helpful. Also, what they're doing while on your website. So they're going to this page, then this page, then this page, or this blog post to this page, back to this blog post, or whatever it is. You can also set up some goals, so tracking email subscribers, downloads, contact, if people are filling out the contact form, whatever it is you want. You can track any type of lead generation. If it's e-commerce, you can track sales. And then I'm going to go over a couple tips here. So let's dive right in. So this is the plugin I use. They have a free version and also a paid version. I don't use the paid one. The free one is more than enough that I need, and it gives you kind of the Google Analytics dashboard right inside your WordPress website, which is pretty nice. So you can check it out. So it's Monster Insights. Find it in the WordPress plugin store, install it, and then here is what it looks like on the back end. So this is on my Total Dads website, and so this is kind of the dashboard. You can customize this. However, it's probably easier just to do it in your WordPress site. It's completely up to you. So first thing I wanted to talk about is, what did I have on my little sheet here? So block IP addresses. So to block IP address, what you're going to do. So first of all, we'll get to that in just a second. So you can customize it here, real-time audience, acquisition behavior, conversions. I typically look at these three, acquisition behavior and conversions. You can kind of play around with them. What you're going to do for you want to block your IP address. So what that means is, so if you visit your website, which of course you will, you block that IP address so it doesn't register on your Google Analytics. I was messing with my site a couple weeks ago, and I noticed I had like 150 visitors on a specific day, and right now I'm averaging like 30 a day. So 150 was kind of mind-blowing, and is because I didn't block the IP address on the Google Analytics. So what you'll do is go down here to the admin, the little wheel button in the lower left-hand corner, click there, and what you're going to look for is go over to this right column and look for filters. And while that's loading up, I just say, what is my IP address? And then I just grab, I click on this first one here, and I grab the IP address. We'll go back here. And so what you can do is add filter. So you click here, and you'll want to, I just name it typically, I guess you could say my IP address. And then you'll go down here, you'll click exclude. You'll go here, traffic from the IP addresses, and then select expression that are equal to, and then you'll put your IP address. I already have mine set up, obviously. You'd enter it in here and hit save. And again, this just blocks you so you don't register in your Google Analytics, kind of throwing off your numbers. So that's the first one. Another setting, we'll set up the settings first. You'll click down to this lower wheel here, down in the lower left-hand corner, and we'll go back to this right column here. It's called e-commerce settings. Now this is if you're selling something on your website. If you're not selling anything, then just completely ignore this. But this will track your sales inside of Google Analytics, which is really, really cool, because over time, you'll be able to see, like, if you publish a blog post, maybe that blog post is generating you sales, or wherever the sales are coming from. So you click there, and then you just flip these two little buttons, or these, whatever you want to call them, toggles, I guess. Enable e-commerce and enable enhanced e-commerce reporting. So flip both of those, click on save. And then the last one is setting up goals. So you'll go back down to the wheel in the lower left-hand corner, and what you want to do is go to your goals here, and what you're going to want to do is grab the no, I don't need to save that. What you need to do is discard your changes, okay? What you need to do is grab your URL of your thank you page. If they're downloading some type of a lead magnet, signing up for a webinar, filling out a contact form, an appointment request, whatever it is, they're submitting their name, their email, their phone number, whatever they're submitting to you, and then they're sent to a thank you and or a confirmation page. You're going to need that URL, and you're going to go to goals. And what you can do is set up different goals. So you click new goal up here, and we're going to need, so here's the goal setup. As you can see, if you want to focus on revenue, any type of reservation, sign up for a tour, rental, reservation, make a payment, make an appointment, become a partner, acquisition, create an account, inquiry, view more, contact us, get an estimate, see available, find a location, media play. They don't have to be in this category. These are just kind of merely suggestions. So what I do is, this is for a example for a digital download, let's say some type of an ebook, some type of guide, checklist, cheat sheet. So I go to custom, and you go down to continue, and I will just say demo training demo. And you can do destination. So this, we're going to set up a destination. If anyone who's visited a specific URL, this is going to be a goal. You could also set up a duration. Maybe if you wanted to set a goal for anyone who's visited the website for 5 minutes or more, as an example. The next one, you could do pages or screens per session. So let's say if someone's visited the website and they've looked at 7 or more pages, that'll be a goal. Next is an event, so if they played a video. So you can set up multiple goals, and you can't, not just one. So it's destination, so click continue, and then what you're going to want to do is put in the thank you page URL. So I have, this is just a, for demo purposes, obviously this isn't a real, we'll just put thank you because I already have that. So that is the training demo. Once they opted in, once they download it, once they request access, they're sent to this fake URL, and then if they hit this URL, that is a goal, and Google Analytics will register it as a goal. So here's the value. If you wanted a value, if it's if they're buying something, or maybe you know the value of a lead to you. If you know a value of the lead, you can do $12 as an example. And then if you wanted to do funnel, you could certainly do that. You'd put the step, the name of the step, and then the screen that they visit. Maybe the landing page would be first, the thank you page would be second, maybe the sales page would be third, the thank you page for the sales page would be fourth, maybe if you had an upsell would be fifth. You could basically create a funnel, and you just continue adding steps. So we're just going to turn these ones off for now. Click save. Oh, you can verify the goal. Again, this is a dummy URL, so I can't really verify it. And so that's pretty much how you set up goals in Google Analytics. I just recently moved all my landing pages, sales pages, membership things onto a subdomain, so I don't really generate any leads on my totaldads.com domain. I now have a subdomain, so that's why I don't have any conversions here. All right, so I'll do a quick walkthrough of the kind of what I look for. So real time, if you wanted to look at the visitors on your website in real time, you could click that and go. There's different sections here. I'm just going to go through the audience real quick. So audience, as you can see, there are a ton of different things you can look at. So click on the overview. I typically look at the overview on each of these, the acquisition, the behavior, and also the audience, and it kind of gives you just a quick overview, but you can get into real detailed numbers here, real detailed statistics. Go down to here, you can demographics, interest, geography, the behavior. Mobile is another good one, so you can see how many people are on the mobile, how many people view your website on a mobile device, how many people view your website on a desktop. So this is kind of the standard, this is overview for audience. So you can change the date range here. So you just kind of select here. So I have January 1st to January 25th. This is the number of users. This is the number of new users. So as you can see, I had 29 people revisit the website. Sessions is basically 496 times 1.31. I'm pretty sure it comes up to 687. That is how many pages altogether that they viewed. or sessions, I should say. Each person can have multiple sessions. Obviously, or on average, it's 1.3 sessions. Page views is right here. It's the 1278. So this is a metric that I keep an eye on, is page views. I have goals at the end of each month, a certain number of page views I want to hit. At the end of each quarter, certain number of page views. This is page per sessions. Average session duration is obviously how much time they spend on your website. The goal is always to get that a little bit higher, a minute 28 seconds. The bounce rate is, this is not a good bounce rate. I want something under 60% at least. So what this is basically if someone visits your website and they don't do anything, they don't click on any links, they don't visit any other pages, any other posts, they don't interact with your site basically. Basically, they see one page, they might scroll a little bit, but that's it. And then they go back or close out the window. So basically this is saying 3/4 of people that visit the website for the month of January are bouncing off the site. Now, expect bounce rate. If you get under 60%, that's actually pretty good. So don't think, there's bots out there, so don't think your website's horrible if it's like 60%. 72% isn't atrocious. I'm not happy with it though. I want to be below 60. I'd say between 40 and 60 is probably a good range. So I got some work to do. There's a lot of different things you can do to get people to interact with your site. Check out multiple pages and or blog posts. I'm not going to go into that here. As you can see, on average 1.86 pages. So the people who are consuming the content are almost viewing 2 pages, and this is on average. So they are kind of balancing out these people who bounce. So we'll go to mobile real quick and just kind of show you. So the overview of mobile, the mobile versus desktop versus tablet, kind of interesting statistics. So mobile, 321 people. It's actually not as big of a difference. So that's a roughly 60%, maybe 65%. And desktop is 200 visitors, again, out of the 525. Usually it's kind of 80-20, but it's kind of cool. So I can see mobile, so you can go over here. You can see the bounce rate. Look on desktop, the bounce rate's a little bit better. The pages per session, desktop people, 2.5 versus 1.4. Average session duration, mobile people are 39 seconds, desktop are 2 minutes and 37 seconds. So some kind of interesting numbers to kind of look at. And then however, look at this, transactions. So 4 transactions on mobile, 0 on desktop. Interesting. So $43.80 on mobile, nothing on desktop. So just kind of some interesting numbers to kind of look at. And then obviously here's the graph there. So that's the audience. Acquisition is where your visitors are coming from. So you can go to overview here, and it breaks it down. I believe it's 4 categories. I take that back, 5 categories. So social, direct, other, referral, and organic, like Google search. So let's check out, we'll go to all traffic and we'll click channels. And so here you can see, so social, direct, other, referral, organic. So social, let's check out social here. So Pinterest just overtook Twitter. I just noticed this morning actually. So Pinterest is my biggest traffic driver, then Twitter, then YouTube, Facebook, then Instagram. I don't use Instagram. Surprisingly, I don't use Instagram at all, and it's almost got as much traffic as Facebook. And I have like 1,000 fans on my Facebook page. Just goes to show Facebook's reach just really, really restricted. Again, you can look at the page per sessions. You can kind of tailor it. What I found interesting is Twitter was a great traffic driver for me, but they only spent 24 seconds on the site. Like, that's pathetic. That's really, really bad. Pinterest, as you can see, the top one spent about 1 minute and 33. That's in the range of average. So, however, look at Twitter, 3 people, 3 purchases came from Twitter. So, just kind of interesting things to play around with or take a look at. Again, you can go a little bit deeper in the acquisition. And then the next one is the behavior. This is probably my favorite one. So you can see which content people are consuming. And why this is beneficial is you can go on. So I want to go to site content and all pages. This is probably the main one that I check in all of Google Analytics. So this is where people are, this is the content people consuming. So it shows you 10 rows. If you want to look at more, I just kind of go down here, go to 100, and you can just kind of take a look at and see where your content, what content is doing well. So this little slash, this / right here, that's the home page. That's probably going to be your biggest traffic driver. It's going to be up there. The blog is my second biggest traffic driver. Number 3 is, as you can see, how to make money on Twitter. So what that tells me is my readers like to read on how to make money on Twitter. I should come out with more blog content around that subject. Number 4, 52 budget-friendly date night ideas. This is where the traffic is coming from on Pinterest, or a lot of the traffic. That tells me, okay, I need to write more articles on date nights or something around relationships. I'm not the expert in that area, so I'd have to hire that out or get someone to do that. The next one is how this dadpreneur earns $500 on YouTube. I'm not going to go through all of them, but you get the idea. This was a landing page of mine that I was using on the site for the first couple of weeks. Like I said, but I switched everything over. And then again, you can look at all the numbers here. So as you can see, how to make money on Twitter, 6 minutes and 45 seconds. 52, the date night post, 3 minutes and 44 seconds. How this dadpreneur, 2 minutes. Another 5-minute one, how to get shit done. And then you can just kind of see what content. So here's a 12-minute one. This is the sales page, actually. This is connected via Gumroad. So 12 minutes on the sales page. I'm not sure why it takes that long, because the sales page is a couple hundred words. But anyway, so that's the kind of the content or the behavior. You can check out site speed and all that. The last one I'm going to go down is conversion. So this is where your goals are going to show up. So overview. And here's the goal. So this is my brain dead simple ads. It is a Facebook ads checklist. So this is the goal, one of the goals that I set up that I showed you a few minutes ago. As you can see, I got 22 leads this month in the first couple of weeks of January that visited this specific URL. So that's kind of how you track your goals. Obviously, you're most likely going to have multiple goals down here that you can look at. So that's pretty much Google Analytics, kind of like a very beginner friendly version. Like I said, I'm not super advanced with it. This is enough to get started. There's plenty of YouTube videos. There's plenty of blog posts out there explaining, like, if you want to get really, really deep with it. But like I said, it's absolutely free to install. You're foolish not to do it because it gives you so much data, especially the whole content. I really, really like that piece. My blog's only been live for about 6 weeks, so if there's not a ton of traffic, a ton of data, but here in the coming weeks, as I put up more and more content, in 3 months from now, I'm really going to be able to look at my top 4, 5, 6 pieces of content, and then I can start making content around that. It's the same thing I do with YouTube videos. It's really the same thing. With YouTube Analytics, I see what videos people are watching, what they're consuming, and I start making more videos that are similar to that because they're telling me, hey, these are the videos I like. It just kind of is common sense. But if you don't have Google Analytics, you don't know which content is being consumed on your site. So get it installed. Use Monster Insights. Like I said, it's a free WordPress plugin. If you want to upgrade to the paid version, you can do that as well. Hey, if you like these types of videos, make sure you hit subscribe down below. Click that little bell notification because I release 2 videos each and every week for your viewing pleasure. As always, if you have comments, questions, or concerns, please drop them down below. I'll do my absolute best to answer them. If I can't answer them, I will find someone, or I will try to find someone, or point you in the right resource, point you in the right direction. And last but not least, when I sat down to do this video, actually, I noticed Kobe Bryant died in a helicopter accident. It took me 2 hours to turn the video on. That really shook me. That I wasn't a fan of his, actually, when he played basketball, and maybe I was just being a damn hater. But after basketball, I really had a tremendous, I still had a respect for him, but I really started liking him, what he was doing after basketball, and of course how he's just an amazing dad. And that news, obviously, it shook the world. It's still shaking the world. It's just been a couple hours now. It's hard for me to sit down and do a video, though. That's, man, it can... Nobody's above dying. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter. So it just makes you think. So hold your loved ones. Give them a hug. Bury the hatchet on the stupid shit, especially in the political season in this 2020 going forward. It's going to get tense these next 9 or 10 months. But remember, life happens, or it can be taken away from each and every one of us at a moment's notice. So just remember that. That's I'll get off my soapbox. That's it for now. Like I said, if you have comments, questions, drop them down below. As always, thank you so much for watching. I truly do appreciate it.